Well, good morning. Welcome back to the Broadcast Retirement Network. I'm Jeff Snyder. This is BRN AM for Friday, April 22nd, 2022. And our top story today, Wings over the Rockies, teaching America's future aviators and engineers. Well, joining me now to discuss this and a lot more is retired Major General John Barry. He is the president and CEO of Wings over the Rockies. John, great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us on the program this morning.
Jeff, thank you very much for the invite.
Yeah, I should say retired Major General of the United States Air Force. I didn't clarify that. My apologies. So let's talk about, I want to talk about this really amazing project that students worked on, creating an airplane that you flew. But let's first talk about Wings over the Rockies. What is Wings over the Rockies?
Well, our mission is to educate and inspire persons of all ages about aviation and space, not just aviation, both past, present, and future. And the best way we've demonstrated that now, we have two locations. We have the traditional one that was opening in 1994 at the old Lowry Air Force Base. And we have a second site now at Centennial Air Force Base, where we have 15 acres in our building. We built two buildings now, and we're going to keep going until we fill the whole campus.
And this project that we're talking about, you actually flew this airplane on its maiden flight, but a group of students, I'm assuming of all ages, got together with some adult instruction. So they didn't do this by themselves. This wasn't a Hollywood movie. They actually got together and built this plane. What were the average ages of the students?
Well, most of them were in high school. So we have what we call a Wings Aerospace Pathway Program in our museum. Now, what that means is students come to us middle school on Tuesday all day, and high school kids come to us on Wednesdays all day. Now, who are those kids that can do that? Well, they're homeschooled. They're online kids already, even before COVID. They're charter school kids where they can afford the day off, and even some traditional schools where students are not doing very well in a traditional environment, they send it to us. So I think it was an after school program, but we got them for the whole day in all cases. And it's a pretty unique program. We don't provide grades. It's all built on their choosing to be there, they're owning that choice, and then that choice allows them to be motivated. And if you're motivated about anything as a young person, you're highly susceptible to great success.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would imagine, when I think of aerospace and building airplanes, you have to be really good at math, physics, a lot of the sciences. I would imagine these I'm going to call them kids, these high schoolers are really solid in these academic areas.
Well, they have to be, and they have to learn about things like tools. Some students come to us and they don't know a hammer from any kind of a screwdriver, but they learn the tooling, and then they practice on preparation for like doing riveting on the wings, case in point. But what I'm really proud of, Jeff, is the fact that they have built 80% of this aircraft. Now, a lot of adult supervision, and it's taken well over 3 years to do this. And a lot of kids who have come and gone, because they've graduated from our program. But we had a really big celebration when they were all able to do the, get together here at Centennial Airport on our first flight. It was an amazing day.
It takes commitment. And as you said, if you're committed to anything, you can be successful. I think that's a key lesson here. Let's talk about, you had to get the airplane FAA approved. So no one can just go out in their backyard, build the Millennium Falcon or an F-35 or whatever, and just fly it, right? You had to go through a process. You had to go through the appropriate channels and get it FAA approved.
Right. So we start with the students. We give them the instructions on tooling. Obviously, you're right. They have to be good on math. We have to be able to write and be able to communicate and be able to put this all together. So we get the kit. We order it from a company called Van. The kit comes to us in many, many parts and pieces. The students have to be able to rivet the aircraft, put the wings on, get the engine, connect the fuel lines, make sure that the whole thing is coordinated and collaborated with the software programs on the airplane, and put it all together. And then after we get that all done, you have to call the FAA, and they do give you a airworthiness inspection. So it's kind of fun to watch. The kids are all there, the inspector's doing his thing, and it's like watching a new baby be born. They're just wondering what it's going to be and how much additional work. Honest to God, it was amazing. He had a few minor little things that he wanted to be done and changed, and we did that almost on the spot, and we got our airworthiness certificate just about 5 weeks ago.
That's amazing. And so you flew this plane. Now, let me ask you. I mean, I know you're the president and CEO of Wings Over the Rockies. Did you have any doubt whatsoever before you stepped into the cockpit of the plane? Like, oh, okay, did we remember? I know it was approved by the FAA. You had these great kids, adult supervision, but hey, stepping into an airplane, you got to be really cognizant of all the things around you.
Well, fortunately, with my background in the Air Force, I had a lot of experience in this regard. But the bottom line is that van aircraft gives you a very detailed, orchestrated listing of step-by-steps on how to go through it. So let me just describe a little bit. Obviously, when you put it together, there's a lot of things you do. First of all, you do a lot of engine runs, okay? You want to make sure the engine, and we got a little tweaking here and there as we go on, adjusting the prop, adjusting the RPMs on the engine. It's a Rotax engine similar to an engine you put in a motorcycle, which is kind of interesting. And then you do a bunch of taxi checks, okay? And then we did a bunch of high-speed taxi checks on the runway. We didn't lift off. In fact, a couple of times I didn't even have the wings on. It's just running down the runway to make sure that everything good. You come back and you get a data dump because of the airplane has a capability to get an SD card, and you can check everything. Checked all the engine specifications, make some adjustments, modified this, modified that. And then when it came time to fly, I was very comfortable in the fact that this airplane was going to get airborne. Now, you just don't take off, fly around when you have your first flight. We got on the long runway here at Centennial Airport. And what you do is you just take off and then you land right away. Okay, taxi back, take off, land right away. And then what we do is when everything looks good, then I felt pretty comfortable about doing a pattern. So we did a pattern, but they got a step-by-step process on how to go through all the different checks for the airplane. FAA approves a particular area where you do the test over. You don't do it over populated areas, obviously. And you have alternate airfields that you can land in just in case the engine quits, to be able to put the airplane down. All those safety precautions were taken care of. But I was very comfortable, even though 80% of the airplane was built by students with a lot of adult supervision. We had some great AMPs, aircraft mechanics, that were helping us put the kids. So I was very pleased and very comfortable.
Yeah. Well, John, I need to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk more about this amazing project and also what's next for Wings Over the Rockies. You're going to want to stay tuned right here on BRN AM. Imagine a new television network that will make you richer, healthier, and in control of your financial future. This network is for the policewoman in Nashville, Tennessee, the baker in Dubuque, Iowa, the teacher in Lexington, Kentucky. We want to make the idea of savings and retirement culturally relevant. But what do you see as a defining issue of the midterms, especially for the smaller businesses? I mean, they are the lifeblood of the American economy. Featuring exclusive interviews, current affairs, and docuseries. 33 years old, you retired early.
The philosophy is money only matters if it helps you live a life that you love.
But you got to start thinking about retirement as soon as you get in.
The Broadcast Retirement Network will drive very high engagement with premium partnerships. So this isn't retirement and savings for your parents or grandparents. This is for all Americans. And we're going to change the way you think about money. Welcome to the next frontier of retirement and savings. This is BRN, the Broadcast Retirement Network.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers. This free book reveals little-known secrets about annuity strategies that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. Call right now for your free book, and as a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report, both absolutely free for calling Annuity General today.
Call 800-504-8194.
Welcome back. We're joined this morning by retired Major General John Barry of the United States Air Force. He's now the president and CEO of Wings Over the Rockies. John, thanks so much for staying with us this morning.
Good, Jeff. Thanks again.
Yeah, this is an amazing story. I have to ask you, what's next? Took you 3 years, and you had different classes of students and airplane mechanics and adult supervision. What's next? Are we going straight to the moon next? Are we going to build an spacecraft?
Yeah,
what's on the docket?
That could be in the future. Who knows? But our plans right now is to sell the airplane, okay, and then we're going to auction it up and be able to get the money and order another kit and start all over again. So this will be our reinforcing, self-supporting financially kind of operation. We are very grateful for some very generous donors who got us started on that. And, you know, the aircraft kit itself costs $50,000. The engine costs another $25,000. Never mind all the, you know, we had staff we had to pay for, things like that. So we're hoping to get enough money to cover the costs and move to the next level. But, you know, the really wonderful thing about this is the students who want to become pilots, now they see how the guts of an airplane are put together, which is very helpful. And then we have students that want to be aircraft mechanics. And I'll give you a little bit. I think most of us can understand that airline pilots and pilots that go in the military do pretty well. But if you're an aircraft mechanic and you haven't even gone to college, you can get your A&P license. And let's say it's 18 months, you can do it. You're making about $32,000, $34,000 a year. Not too bad for a young 19-year-old, let's say. And then by 24 years old, you're making over $100,000. The demand for aircraft mechanics is just off the charts. And maybe even with bonuses and kind of increases in salaries and those kinds of things, you might be making $120,000 when you're 24 years old. So it's an amazing opportunity for those students that are interested in that idea. And we want to keep fostering that as we go along.
Yeah, I think people often, we always talk about college, and the college is great, and 2-year schools, 4-year schools, but I think we often leave out things that you're describing, mechanical engineering, ironworking. Those are really important skills as well. We got to build the buildings, we got to build the planes, we got to service the planes. That's what keeps them up in the air. John, if I have a child living in Colorado, I don't, I'm in Charlotte, but if I want to be a part of your program, or I want my child to be a part of your program, how do I apply for them to be considered?
See, this is one of the more exciting things that we're offering, and something I'd like to make sure that your audience understands. We do have this second site, 15 acres on an airport. The airplanes we have in this hangar that I'm in right now actually all fly, okay, including the RV-12 now that the students have built. And what we provided, you come in and around the country, you can fly Young Eagles program. It's sponsored by the Experimental Aircraft Association in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Now, young 8-year-olds, even up to 18-year-olds can fly. But let's say you're 15 years old, you get a Young Eagle flight, you get a nice certificate, you get a nice picture. But what you really get is a $250 free online ground school. Now, you're 15 years old, you take the online course, you pass the course. Not easy, but you can do it. Then you go take the FAA exam, costs $165, not cheap. But if you take the course and take the test, you can get through a company called Sporties, the $165 back and $125 for your full lesson or your first lesson. Now, we're not done yet. Here at Wings, what's unique is we are offering $10,000 scholarships for learning how to fly powered airplane and $6,000 scholarships to fly gliders. You can solo in a glider at 14, get your license at 16. Not too many people know that. And you can get your powered license at 16 and a solo at 16 and get your license at 17. We're providing $250,000 worth of scholarships every single year. $10,000 for power again, $6,000 for glider. We've given away 80 scholarships over these last 3 years. We're getting ready to give another 20 students an opportunity. So what I'm presenting to you is a pathway from beginning with the Young Eagles to the online course, to taking a test, to be able to have an opportunity to get a scholarship, to be able to do that. Now you're 16, 17 years old, you got your license. Pretty awesome opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, you can leave the earth. I mean, well, it can't leave the earth, but you can leave the ground at least. John, if I'm an adult, if I'm say I'm a retired pilot or mechanic, can I donate my time? Can I be a volunteer with your organization and support the kids in that way?
Most museums cannot be run without volunteers, and we have an unbelievable amount of dedicated people. There are sometimes retired pilots, sometimes retired mechanics, sometimes people that are just interested in aviation. They come by and they provide. Now, one other thing that we give our students that's kind of unique on that pathway is that once they get the scholarship, they also get a mentor. We call it a Wingman Program. And those wingmen can be anybody who's flown military, currently an airline pilot, someone who's gotten their license and can relate to the kids and be able. In fact, we have one student that already went through our program, and he's 19 years old and is flying a Pilatus aircraft commercially as a pilot. And he is also serving as a Young Eagle pilot, as also a wingman for our students that are coming out. Got a couple of glider students that already got their license and are now serving as a mentor / wingman for the younger students, and they're going to continue this out. So it's a good support system to make sure that we are their advocates. We don't train them here. What we do is provide the money for the state of Colorado. It's a state of Colorado thing. You could be down in Pueblo, you can be up in Greeley, you can be in Denver, and you're eligible. But you get to pick the school. But we have mentors / wingmen that help monitor and make sure that you're getting the proper attention. You're not having trouble, being from one instructor to another, or maybe one airplane type to another airplane type, and you're getting consistency and continue that motivation and support. So it's a wonderful thing we've got from great bunch of volunteers. We also run our simulators here, provide docent tours. You can't run a museum without volunteers, and we got a great group.
And last question, for those that maybe want to participate, donate proceeds to the donate funds to the Wings Over the Rockies, maybe corporate donors or even individual donors. How do they do that?
You go online and clearly is a section on our website is wingsmuseum.org, WINGS museum, all one word, .org. Please go on there. And one thing I want to just mention here, again, what we're doing unique to the nation. We have built this Blue Sky Gallery, Blue Sky for Aviation, makes sense. We built a school. We have a charter school here that's different from the Wings Aerospace Pathway program at the museum at Lowry. That's a regular school, but it's aerospace. Kids get to walk outside, hear, smell, touch, feel airplanes, aviation every single day. They're always here with the simulators. They're always providing. So there's a lot of great opportunities in that regard. But we're also designed already, but not built, a Black Sky Gallery for space. Blue Sky for Aviation, Black Sky for space. We're really excited about that. And in fact, our people and our board and our staff, say that if we can get this thing built and it's already designed, it'll make Disney cry. That's how good it's going to be.
There you go. I'm jealous. I wish I was in high school again. It's great to be a kid these days, I would say. John Barry, great to talk to you. Thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to having you back on the program again very soon.
Jeff, thank you very much. Appreciate it from all of us here at Wings Over the Rockies.
That wraps up this episode of BRN AM. Have a topic of interest, someone you think we should talk to, drop us a line. And don't forget, for all the latest security news and lifestyle, wellness, finance, tech, so much more, and all in one place, check out today's edition of our daily newsletter, The Morning Pulse. Want to search our archives, check out our latest content? We'll visit our website and our streaming partners like Amazon, Roku, Samsung, over 100 more. We're back again tomorrow with BRN Weekly. We'll be taking a look back at some of our best segments for the week. Until then, I'm Jeff Snyder. Stay safe, keep on saving, and don't forget, roll with the changes. Now is your opportunity to co-create content around any topic on the First Lifestyle and Wellness Network. Reach a global audience through our platform and co-own exclusive branded content. All of our programs are available on demand and also as audio-only podcasts, so you can take us on the go. Broadcast Retirement Network, available anytime, anywhere, and on any device.
Are you being audited? And do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Is the IRS threatening to take more of your money? Don't fight the IRS alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you negotiate your tax bill and reduce your stress. The IRS can freeze your assets and seize your bank accounts, but you can stop these IRS actions. The Tax Doctor will work with you using our years of experience to represent your case to help you get the best resolution under the IRS guidelines. Help is here to deal with the IRS to reduce your stress. We've handled thousands of cases, so we know what we're doing. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, do not call the IRS alone. Call a Tax Doctor now for a tax emergency analysis.
Call 800-224-6439.